employees within 75 miles radius of the company. So leave entitlement, in order for you to be allowed to leave, it has to be for reasons such as a birth or adoption of a baby, care for a family member, whether they're sick or they need your attention, serious health condition of your own, whether you had a heart attack, stroke, stuff like that, and a family member in the military. They can be a current member or a veteran if they need your assistance. So for employers, they must provide notices for their employees that says the rules and regulations of the FMLA. They could put that in their handbook or tell them upon hire. And when an employee requests FMLA leave, or so then a notice from employees, they have to give, if it's foreseeable, they have to give at least 30 days notice of such as like a birth, you know when that's coming, or a medical treatment, you also know when that's coming. If it is unforeseeable and something unexpected happens, you have to tell your employer as soon as possible so they can get everything ready for you. So the certification, some employers request medical certifications from their employees to allow FMLA leave. The employees have to cover all costs for that. If the employee, it has to be complete and sufficient. So if their certification is not, the employer can send it back, and you have to assemble the things you need for to make it complete and sufficient. So job restoration and health benefits, once you return back to work from FMLA leave, you return back to your original job with equivalent pay and benefits. Nothing is taken from you, same terms and conditions as before in regards to health insurance and everything like that. So in order to enforce this, the Age and Hour Division is responsible for administering and enforcing FMLA in workplaces. It's unlawful for any employers to deny, restrain, or interfere with any FMLA rights and practices. It is also unlawful for them to discharge or discriminate against employees who do. So people who are not eligible for FMLA, fewer than 50 employees in their workplace, part-time workers cannot be eligible for it. Routine medical care, such as checkups here and there, it doesn't cover that. Pets, you can't do FMLA for pets if they're sick. Elected officials are not eligible.
They're service animals.
So, despite its enactment nearly 25 years ago, FMLA continues to evolve through judicial review, and this gives a lot of guidance for employers through these court cases. So next I'm going to be telling you guys about two separate court cases that I thought were interesting and how they provide guidance to employers. So the first one was Hofrika versus St. Mary Medical Center. So Hofrika went in for a surgery through FMLA. She had time off. She was reaching out to her employer. Her employer did not respond to any of her messages. So when she did not return to work on time as scheduled after her leave, because her doctor informed her not to, her employer fired her. The second one, Terlinger versus Howard Medical Memorial Hospital. That's the opposite. So Terlinger's employer just kept bothering her, pressuring her to come back to work, which made her feel uncomfortable, and she returned way too early. So it's best not to be overly aggressive, but not absent either. So some states have enacted their own family leave with lower thresholds for employees. Some of these states include New Jersey, New York, California, Vermont, Maryland, Rhode Island. But right now I'm going to be focusing on New Jersey's Family Leave Act. So for New Jersey, the requirements, the employer must have at least 50 employers who have worked at least 20 weeks in the past current year or previous year. And all people are counted. It's not just a 75-mile radius, it's worldwide. The employee taking leave must have worked for the employer for 1 year and worked 1,000 hours, including overtime. So circumstances for family leave, it's in the New Jersey Family Leave Act, it is not for yourself. It's for the care of others. So it's for the care of a spouse, husband, parent, child, whatever, who needs your medical attention, or the birth of a baby or newly adopted child. So how is it different from FMLA? So FMLA allows for personal time off, as the New Jersey one does not. FLA provides for 12 weeks of leave in 24 months period, but FMLA only provides for a 12-month period. So then, for my own personal experience, I'm a server at PJ Wellahan, so this does not apply to me because it's a part-time job, so I do not get the benefits of this. But for my future career as an HR manager, this is really important for me to know the benefits of FMLA and specifically New Jersey FLA, since I will probably be working in New Jersey. So just to wrap it up, the FMLA, or Family and Medical Leave Act, is an act that gives unpaid but job-protected leave time for caring of your family or for yourself. New Jersey FLA is a little bit different, basically the same concept, but fewer hours and stuff like that. So up next, we have Amanda with How to Protect Your Business from Legal Issues. Thank you guys so much for listening to me. Here's Amanda.
You have anything to say?
Sure.
I don't know, you usually do.
Yeah.
Ready? All
You
right.
know,
What was that? All right. So my name's Amanda. Today I'm going to be talking to you about how to protect your business from legal issues. There are many ways to do this. There's many things you have to consider, but I only have time to talk about a few. So we're going to talk about knowing the laws, about documentation, your job postings and your job analysis, and also your employee handbooks. I'll also go over some personal experience and then wrap it up. So after hearing all my teammates, you might think that, how do I protect myself? I feel like I'm going to run into an issue. A lot of these laws seem like they are employee friendly and you might unintentionally break this law. Also, lawsuits are growing rapidly because employees are aware of their rights, so they're filing more lawsuits. So it's extremely important to be aware of what the laws are. So, I don't know if that paused or not. Okay, sorry. So you need to know the in and outs of every law. So this is going to start with documentation, and it's going to help you win or even avoid a lawsuit altogether, which is what you really want as an HR manager for your business. The way the documentation starts is going to be with your job posting, because this is your first written piece of information conveyed to the future employees. So you want that to have a job title, a description of the position, a summary of your role, your list of qualifications, and essential functions. And this is going to help you because it shows everyone is held to the same standard. So in my example, let's say Sally applied for a job with UPS, and after the physical test, you realize that she can't lift 50 pounds and therefore she does not get the job. She might sue you saying that she feels discriminated against for being a woman, but if you have the proper job posting and job analysis, you can win or avoid this court case because you can show that your essential functions are to lift 50 pounds. This shows that she wasn't discriminated against for being a woman and that everyone is held to the same standard and needs to do that in order to do the job. So your job analysis has to be reasonable. You can't just say for a cashier position or something that you have to lift 50 pounds. You actually have to do that in your job. So that's where the job analysis is very important. It needs to be consistent with the actual work, and you're going to use different resources. You're not expected to know exactly what every job needs right off the bat. So your job analysis is going to take time, and you need to be prepared to take the correct amount of time to get the correct analysis and job posting out there. You may know very little or nothing about the job that you're writing about, so you're going to use other sources such as the incumbents, the supervisors, subject matter experts or SMEs, questionnaires, and observations. The job analysis is going to help you with many parts of the job, such as staffing, hiring, training, recruiting, compensation, and also performance appraisals. It's also going to help you mainly, as I said, for getting that job description. Doing the job analysis is the reason that you know that someone at UPS has to be able to lift 50 pounds. So documentation is also going to be important during your hiring process, and it's going to, part of it is going to be with your employee handbook. This is going to be another written document. It's extremely important, and the handbook should be given to every employee, and every employee should sign saying that they read and understand it, and the HR should keep a copy of these signed slips showing that everyone got what they needed to out of that. The handbook's purpose is to inform employees of what's expected of them, but it is also to inform them of what they should expect from management. You want to ensure that the policies in these are clearly communicated and that if they have any questions, they can ask you. It's going to be an extremely important document that you'll be able to use in court if there's any lawsuits that come out of your policies. And your handbook should be tailored to your business strategy, but there's some must-haves that you should have in there that every company should have, such as an employee at will statement stating that they could be fired for any reason and at any time. You should also have a disclaimer in there that says this is not a contract, so it's not a binding statement. Something else you should have is a non-discrimination statement, which is kind of what Jess talked about, saying that you're not an employer that discriminates based on age, sex, gender, and other things like that. It shows that every person has the same opportunity and that they are free from workplace discrimination or harassment in your workplace. So some other policies that should definitely be in there for every business, and I'm not going to go into too much detail about. It should be an anti-harassment policy, internal complaint policy, a leave policy and how you calculate your FMLA leave, performance appraisal policy, and also compensation policy. Another main thing that an HR professional should be able to do is be organized. You need to know where to find and utilize information if necessary, and these are things that are going to hold up in court, such as documentation of your employee actions, discussions, incidents, violations, performance evaluations, so that's really going to save you if something does happen. So from my personal experience, I worked at Enterprise, and I did during our supervised internship class where we have to analyze the employee handbook. Upon reading it when I first got hired, it seemed like the handbook was great. And I'm like, oh yeah, I get it, I understand these policies, but after really going in depth, I noticed that these policies really aren't directly related just for Enterprise. They kind of just seem like they pulled them from any other company. I think that they should be a little more related to what the business's policies and procedures actually are, such as the dress code. When I got there, I realized that you're not supposed to wear coats or you're not supposed to have any symbols on them, such as like North Face. That was never in the policy anywhere. So I think that's something that they should include if that's something they want to enforce. So some things to remember from this: it's very important to document everything. As you see, that was like a main part of this presentation. You want to be organized, and you definitely need to know the laws so that you're not breaking them unintentionally. You need to have a proper analysis, so it's going to help you with more things than just your job posting. And you also need to be able to stay really organized for all that. So we hope you're able to learn a lot from our group's presentation. Just to recap, we talked to you a little bit about the Civil Rights Act, the Americans with Disabilities Act, the EEOC, FMLA, and ways to protect your business. All these laws that were discussed today are extremely important, and as an HR manager, you really need to understand the law to the fullest extent, because breaking one of these laws, even unintentionally, is going to be extremely costly for your business. And that's everything.